Welcome, Star Warriors. Once again, we are back on the dark side to drop some truth on the internet. Now, I've been looking around the web, and I've seen a lot of things about The Last Jedi, and how you are supposed to react to The Last Jedi. There are going to be young movie critics telling you that if you're part of the movement, if you're part of this backlash, that you're missing the point. And that there are a lot of things to criticize The Last Jedi over, but if you are one of these people who are saying that this isn't your Star Wars and you are done with Star Wars because of this movie, then you are wrong. Very few people I've heard say this were around for the original trilogy. I've heard a lot of young movie critics who want to treat Star Wars as just any other film and believe you should treat Star Wars as just any other film, and therefore you are wrong in your opinion. I've heard them yapping about the way you should feel, the way you should think, the way you should judge this film. And there are plenty of young people I've seen that weren't around back then who are on our side. So mainly I'm just talking about these quote-unquote critics, film critics. I guess they want to be considered. So they're up there trying to be these, get positions to where they'll get, invited to premieres of the next Star Wars movie, like Episode 9 or something. Clearly, I'm not interested in being invited to the premiere of Episode 9. So, you're getting the unbridled truth from me. And the unbridled truth is that there's no reason for you to allow anyone to tell you how you need to feel about these films. People can come up with their arguments, they can make their points, but if you feel like there's something wrong with this film, your feeling is every bit as valid as any sort of analytical assessment a wannabe film reviewer can make. The truth is, Disney would have never bought Star Wars. There would be no Star Wars movies coming out recently or in the future if Star Wars was just any other film. The Force Awakens would have never made over $2 billion if Star Wars was just any other film. You don't judge a movie that makes 2.2 or $2.068 billion at the box office by the standards that you judge every other film. Am I making sense here? They'll tell you that your expectations you went into the theater with are the reason why you don't like this film. Now, if this was the very first Star Wars movie, I might say they have a point, although I don't know why I would have expectations for the very first Star Wars movie other than I want to see a good movie. But let's say this is the very first Star Wars movie. The very first Star Wars movie is called The Last Jedi. I know nothing about Star Wars. I'm just going to the theater to enjoy myself. Maybe going with friends or family or something like that. I want to be entertained. Not too much to ask. I think generally when you go to the movie and you're not watching a Star Wars movie, those are your expectations. Or else why would you spend your money? And now, let's judge it for what it is. The 8th movie in a 9-part saga. There's going to be expectations. There ought to be expectations. For there not to be expectations is stupid. There are 7 movies that went before. This movie has to feel like it's the same universe. It has to feel like it's trying to jive with the 7 other films. Making changes is fine. Rearranging the face of an entire saga with one film is not fine. What they did to Luke Skywalker is terrible, but really it's only a symptom of the problem. It's only a smaller version of the entirety of the problem that is plaguing Star Wars right now. And all things considered, with the announcement Disney has made about Rian Johnson's future with the franchise, people have a right to be concerned. So if someone is telling you that you're all wrong and you're looking at this the wrong way and you should let go of your expectations for this film, I'm not going to tell you what to say. Anything you feel is valid. So if you feel that that person should shut up, well then by all means, tell them why they should shut up. Star Wars is has always been about what it makes you feel. From the very beginning, it made people feel something. It captivated the world, basically. And it has been trying to do that ever since it first began. Now, I think it's for the most part, it's fallen short of doing that, but it hasn't fallen this short before. Rian Johnson not only treated Star Wars like it was just any other movie, but he treated it like it was something else entirely. Like it was, I've been more captivated by documentaries, and I'm not dissing documentaries here. I like documentaries, but this movie was boring. It was boring. It was depressing, and it was ridiculous with gags. Star Wars is not supposed to be a depressing gag. It was off balance. It didn't know what it was trying to say, what messages it was trying to portray. It contradicted itself constantly. It tried to pick off where the previous movie left off, but ignored everything that the previous movie left for it to do. This was an unfinished film. An unfinished film that never should have been started. Anyway, guys, don't let anyone tell you what you need to think or feel about this film. If you agree with them, great. If you disagree with them, then disagree with them. Some people say you need to go see this movie twice in order to appreciate it. I don't think you should have to see any movie twice in order to appreciate it. Maybe you will like it better if you go to see it a second time. But if you came out of that theater feeling monumentally let down, then seeing it twice is not going to change your opinion enough to fork over the $8 to $20 it might cost you. Anyway, if you're listening, You are the new rebellion. 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 You are the new